Hey, yeah, what's up? The disciple Marcello Currents reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day, and anti-Illuminati again. Hey, man. This message right here is going to be for concerning the greatest country in the world. Who is the greatest country in the world? What would this be based on? Would this be based on military or leader? This would be based on the leader because the leader moves the military, the government, etc., etc. Forms how the community is, the money's for the community, etc., etc. So if America doesn't have the greatest leader, how is it the greatest country in the world? It's no, even if you have the greatest military, if you have a dumb leader, that military is nothing. That military makes mistakes. That military goes over and destroys 20 years of progress in Afghanistan. Shows you right there. Doesn't matter if you have the greatest military, you got a dumb leader. So you're only as great as your leader, which means someone else, some other country is the greatest leader, the greatest country in the world, and it's no longer America. Donald Trump probably knew this, but he tried to maybe deceive us with half of the truth. It's not only that we're not great again, we're not great. We are also not the greatest country in the world. Let me say that again. It's not only that America is not great anymore, per se, it's not the greatest country in the world. Let me say that again. Because people say make America great again. All Trump supporters say make America great again. So if you're not great, okay, and you're trying to be great again, then that means someone else is greater than you. So that means America is not the greatest country in the world presently in 2021. And that is due mostly to Donald Trump. So I established to you that what makes a country the greatest in the world will be the leader. Because the leader runs everything. Everything, schools, public life, community, taxes, military, as we know, police situations, controlling how police navigate, everything. So if the leader is in control of everything, that's what's going to make he or she great, that's what's going to make the country great or not. If the leader runs everything, that leader in his or her activity is what's going to make that country great, the greatest in the world or not. It's not the community. We can be happy, you can be the best people, but if your government and your system is not great, then you're not the greatest country in the world, and you can be overtaken. Whether it's for your moral system, whether it's for your lack of military, you could be the greatest people in the world. But if your leader is not great, you will fall. So that means that the greatness of a country is based on the leader. Not the superpower, not the military. That's the first thing patriots want to look at. Where we're the greatest military superpower, but your military went over and destroyed 20 years of progress. Your leader went over and destroyed 20 years of progress and killed innocent children in a military operation. So you see, if your leader is not great, then even your military is not going to be great. Even your community is not going to be great. So we have not been the greatest country. This country, America, has not been the greatest country since Donald Trump. That's when you begin, ironically, to cease from being the greatest country in the world, although he was talking about making America great again. You ceased from being the greatest country in the world when he became president. So when Donald Trump was in office, America was the greatest country in the world. America was the greatest country in the world when Donald Trump was in office. Let me say it like this. Was Donald Trump the greatest leader in the world? That's ridiculous. This is what you need to think about. Donald Trump was not the greatest leader in the world when he was a president. Someone else was. Whoever was second in line, that's who was the greatest leader. I'm not here to talk about who that is, but it wasn't Donald Trump being the greatest leader. So if Donald Trump wasn't the greatest leader, then you were not the greatest country, and you have ceased to be the greatest country. That's what it is. This is the fall of the Empire of America. You put some eccentric, shiny suit cornball in your president's seat that was some celebrity. You put a celebrity in the seat of a president. This guy was a celebrity. That's a joke. Okay? That's a joke. And it cost you your greatness. This celebrity person that you put in office ceased America from being the greatest country in the world. Like I said, I can't stress this enough. If your leader is the one who governs everything. He's the commander in chief. He controls the military. He controls how everything turns out. So if he's not great, he or she is not great, how is your country great when they're being governed by not a person that is not great? When they're being governed by a person that is not great, how is your country great? Because nothing great is happening because of this person. Nothing great is happening because of this person, so how are you great? Nothing great is happening because of this person, so how are you great? Nothing great is happening because of this person, so how do you still continue to be great? Life can be lost. The life of something can be lost. And that's what America failed to realize. You don't have eternal life. Rome didn't have eternal life, and no great empire has eternal life. You can cease to be. I know you've been comfortable in your little Mickey Mouse world, and your little Mickey Mouse clubhouse, and your little honeycomb clubhouse. You've been comfortable in your honeycomb clubhouse. But you can cease to exist. Just like any other country. You're not Rome, you never were, and you can cease to exist. So when you put this shiny suit cornball celebrity, not even a rich, wealthy person, just some celebrity cornball, quite kind of bushwhacked too, unsophisticated kind of. You put this person in office that cost you your whole country's greatness. That's what it is. And you cannot sit up and talk about the 80s and talk about the 90s and talk about the 70s, because it is not now. That doesn't exist now. There's no signs of the 80s. There's no signs of the 70s. There's no signs of the 90s. Get over it. Get over it. There's no signs of the past times. It's all gone. It's not attached to the right now. I'm say that again. It's all gone, and it's not attached to right now. The 70s, the 80s, and the 90s is not attached to 2021. You just have 2021. That's all you got. That's all you have. And your former president, Donald Trump, was part of why that's all you have. So if Donald Trump was not the greatest leader, we all can agree on that. He was not standing up as the greatest leader. I don't care how much power he had behind him. I don't care how much American authority he had. I don't care how much American access he had. He was not the greatest leader as far as quality in the world. So if he was not the greatest leader, governing your country, governing your politics, governing your military, then that means you cease to be great, because nothing was great going on. So the life of greatness ceased to exist. Greatness, if it was a life, in other words, ceased to exist. So there was no greatness going on. Therefore, how are you a great country? How are you the greatest country if there's no greatness going on? If there's no greatness going on, how are you the greatest country? You are living as a shell. You are a shell of what you used to be. That's just the facts. What Donald Trump did and said in that seat has never been said and done by a president. And some of you Americans looked at that as real, him being real. He was being obnoxious. That's what he was being. Obnoxious and crude and crass. Okay? That's what he was being. So you cease to exist when this man had this bushwhack, unsophisticated character in the White House. Although he comes from New York, he is bushwhack. He is just as unsophisticated as they come. Okay? So you don't have the country that you think you have anymore. You're living in a past time. You're desperate for a change, and it's not going to happen. This, even when you had the riots, the insurrection, this shows you that you ceased to be great. The telltale signs are there. This is showing you that you fell from greatness. Now that people can walk in and just waltz in to your Capitol building, walk into government property like it's nothing. This shows you that you have ceased from being great. You have ceased from being great. and you don't want to admit it, and you don't, and now you take people like me seriously, but it's a tad too late. It's a tad too late. It's a tad too late to take me seriously. You owe me money. You owe me $505 million. That's what you owe me. So your country ceased to be great because of its leaders. There was leaders that produced the military to be what it is. It was leaders that made your military what it is, that made your community to what it is. But it ain't Donald Trump. It ain't Joe Biden. They didn't make this. So now, those who did, the situation is, they dead. And you are stuck with people that are not great running and governing your country. Holding on to greatness that other men made. Trying to hold on and govern the greatness. And all they're doing now is holding it. They're holding the greatness in their hands. They can't continue it. They only can deplete it. They're depleting it. That's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. All they're doing is depleting the greatness. They're holding it in their hand and they can't add to it. I'll say that again. They're holding the greatness of America in their hands and they can't add to it. They can't add to it no more. And that's why you see it falling out of their hands and running through their hands like sand. Running right through their hands like sand. Got the greatest military and go over there and destroy 20 years of progress. Got the greatest health system and had a slow response to COVID-19. Donald Trump had a slow response to COVID-19. Got the greatest health resources, got the greatest health field, hospitals and all of that. And now here we are, here America is #1 with the highest levels of COVID, and you got the greatest health fields in the world. Because it's running through the hands, the greatness of America is running through the hands of these bushwhacks like sand. The greatness that they had, the greatness of America is running through the hands of these bushwhack presidents like sand. These people are bushwhacked. They can't even talk straight. They can't even think straight. Have you ever heard them articulate themselves properly? Were you impressed? Have you ever been impressed by the articulation of Donald Trump or Joe Biden? That's both sides, Democrat and Republican. Boom. Have you been impressed by their articulation? The last time you've been impressed by the articulation of a president was Barack Obama. That's the last time you were impressed by speeches from the president. You ain't impressed by you ain't looking forward to hearing from Joe Biden. You wasn't looking forward to hearing from Donald Trump. The last time you were impressed by the articulation and speech of a president was Barack Obama. You look forward to his speeches. You look forward to what he was saying. You enjoyed it. It was a pleasure. You ate snacks while you watched it. You watched Donald Trump and Joe Biden biting your nails. with your lips chapped. Your lips are chapped and bleeding and you biting your nails. Watching them. You got snacks and was comfortable watching Barack Obama. Those are bushwhacks. Those are bushwhack leaders. Unsophisticated. Donald Trump called him what? Sleepy Joe? Sleepy Joe went over into 20 and destroyed 20 years of progress. That is Sleepy Joe. See, what you need to do is you need to listen to both sides and realize both sides are telling on each other. Listen to what Joe Biden is saying about Donald Trump. Listen to what Kamala Harris was saying about Donald Trump being slow on the response to COVID. She's telling on him, and Donald Trump was telling on Joe Biden by telling you he's Sleepy Joe. He's stupid. He's nothing smart about him. And Joe Biden stood there and took that, which shows he's not that bright. You sit up and let somebody tell you there's nothing smart about you? That would be my greatest enemy. Somebody tell me in front of international TV, there's nothing smart about me. Now you personally attacking me. I would have handed him his body, his own body, by the time I was finished with that debate for him telling me there's nothing smart about me. I'll take Sleepy Joe, but somebody to sit up and tell you there's nothing smart about you and insult your son on international TV, this is a circus. That man is an enemy. Donald Trump is an enemy. He ceased America from being great. Insulting someone's son, which is irrelevant information to this man that's in office. His son is not in office. This is why you cease to be great. This is why you have COVID spiking. This is why you have all these plagues and God is sitting up. What you think God think about this? God watched the debate. You are a naive simpleton. God sees everything. So God watched the debate. He watched Donald Trump and Joe Biden debate. He's watching the American government. He's watching the national security. He's watching all of you. He sit up and watch them debate. And this man is insulting this man's son and his intelligence. God was watching that. And the only reason these supporters stand behind him because they want to make white America gain its authority over the culture of America that's thriving in the opposite direction of white America. That's the only reason. That's the only reason white people are standing behind him, because they are so embittered from they still embittered from Barack Obama being in office. Look at, and I'm gonna do a video on this too. Look at the contrast of Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Let's look at it as people. Let's look at it as people. One sophisticated, Barack Obama. One's bushwhack, unsophisticated, just yapping like a dog, like a donkey, braying like a donkey. One is for the minorities, one is a champion of the minorities, and the other, everything is questionable. White America put him in office just to counter the progress of Barack Obama. The racial progress. They put him in office to counter the racial progress that Barack Obama made and made you and your family back feel inferior in America again. That's why these people are so revved up, because they was filled with so much hate the whole time Barack Obama was in office. That is who the Trump supporters are. Embittered people towards Barack Obama. Where did they come from? How all of a sudden they just love Donald Trump and these people ain't even... Donald Trump is a New York slicker, city slicker. On the outside. So how do Louisiana country people like this man that don't even talk Southern and don't even think Southern? What do Trump supporters have in common with Donald Trump, him being here from New York? These Southern people, these Southern white people, what do they have in common with this Yankee? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. As far as Yankee, the term Yankee. It is embittered people that was in the woods. These people that hated that Barack Obama was in office. They couldn't stand that a black man was in the White House, and it changed them forever. Think about the racist white people. They hated every minute of those 2 terms he had. While you was enjoying it and wearing your hats. While you was getting t-shirts